Hello, hello, hello everyone, and welcome to Art Snacks. I'm Amy Murray with Sugar Hill Art Studio, and you are tuning in to Art Snacks every week, typically on Mondays at 12:30. It's a nice start of the week, midday break, where we venture in to some art journaling. Now, typically I am using my 21 prompts, so every month, at the beginning of the month, I release 21 art prompts, and there's a challenge with it. The challenge this month is vintage. Okay, so using vintage style, which is anything from 20 to 100 years old, you can use actual vintage items. Okay, if you have actual vintage items, you use those on your journal page. You can use replica ephemera. Super easy to find, not very expensive, and kind of fun every once in a while to kind of take a break from your typical art journaling and use some different ephemera like stickers and papers. Where's one, like in a pre-packaged little kit. You can just look at old vintage ads, art, posters, and kind of replicate that, either using color or the style. That possibility is endless. Some of you have been amazing at doing that. Make sure that you're over in my free group, Free Art Journaling and Mixed Media with Sugar Hill, to be able to share and see what others are sharing. Anything that's related to these art prompts. Always super fun. Or simply just replicate, draw, however it is you want to do a vintage item. So one of them is roller skates. I've seen a couple of you actually draw out your old roller skates. Some things that you loved, you know, kind of going back, tree houses from your past, right? That's just a memory. If you have a photograph, I'm going to be using some photographs, some printable photographs today, and I think I'm going to stick to farmers markets. But I want to show you just a couple of fun little techniques that you can use in your art journal. And of course, we always keep it under 30 minutes. So good morning to everyone. Thank you for popping on and saying hello. All right, so in the very first video, when I introduced the July 21 art prompts, I threw together this quick little book. It literally is using some of my old papers. I've coffee stained some of them. It was just a very simple little journal I put together with 11 pieces of paper on the inside. That gives me 22. I only need 21. I like that bonus. Typically, I tend to journal on a page in there, just kind of my feelings on the month, whether it's art related or just crazy life related, right? Today, I want to work on this little piece that I had coffee stained, and when I put it in, I had it folded up for like a pocket, but I hadn't sewn or anything, and it is ripped, it's glued over here. I'm going to show you how to play with that and add a couple other little things into the journal. Plus, I'm going to be using this photograph because I absolutely love it, from a farmer's market, probably sometime in the 50s or 60s. Absolutely love this photo. Okay, let's play. I'm going to flip you down, flip you upside down, turn you all over. Remember, if you're watching the replay, let me know you're watching the replay. Tell us where you're watching from. Say good morning. All the good things. All the good things. Okay, let me make sure I'm on here. You do see I have, I've got a mess on my desk. I've got all kinds of things. One thing that I wanted to make sure I grabbed was some fun scissors, because you know how you can make, they're not the best, so let me just get them lined up here. You can make any boring piece. These are a little more jagged. Any, what am I trying to say? Square, anything that you're using, right? You can make it more exciting. These are really bad. There we go. They're not very sharp. These have definitely been used by my art students. Oh, come on. But see, it gives us a much, and it's okay if it's all beat up. All right, let's, goodness, they're very beat up. There we go. So I wanted to show you, and you only really need one pair of a pattern that you like, and you could get, you know, good ones, and you won't have to fight with this. I have good ones somewhere. Obviously, I did not grab those, and that's okay. All right, that's actually going to be great, because one thing that, you know, is really fun to do, I like to make sure I do it all the time, is kind of just give, no matter vintage. Okay, so remember we talked about vintage does not mean it has to be black and white and old and kind of scrubby looking, right? Today, mine is going to have a little bit of that look just because of the piece of paper I chose to work on. All right. But it doesn't have to. Does not have to at all. This one isn't very grungy. It's actually quite bright. Excuse me. Okay, I love a tape glue runner to make pockets, so I've got that here, but this ripped. So first and foremost, I do need to kind of reinforce that tear. What do I have? I'm going to take a piece of washi tape that I have sitting here on the inside, and I'm going to kind of run that down, and then I'm going to put this on top. Now, I've already kind of fixed that. Now, I will reinforce it, I don't know, with something. I've got, so I have this photo that I found on my computer, and I absolutely love it. Now, if I open this page so you can see, it's really just this, okay? I'm going to be working. Doesn't mean I can't put a photo on the outside of that, though. I have just some random little pieces, but what I was really thinking was whether I make my own tag or use a vintage tag that I kind of just have laying around, right? If that would be super cute. Kind of just making a little tag in here. I kind of like the green popping there. So sometimes these little ephemera packs, see how easy they are to use. But I don't like going, you know, I don't want to just do that. These tags, easy. Look at, if you're new here, you need to start saving tags. You need to save tags from things you buy, from outfits that you buy. Have friends save tags and labels for you, because these things are spectacular. And then the little just small tags, you know, I've got a pack of those in here. Some of them are just great, whether they're inspiration, you like the bottom for the first layer, the shape, the feel. What's this one? Oh. What else do I have in here? I have a lot. Look at. These, it's like on a 3 together, whether I keep it on this string or not, but they're thick chipboard. You know how fun those are going to be? Turning those into some sort of fun tag to put in my journal. So save all those tags that you get when you go shopping. Okay? Look at, see? You even get great ribbon. And this is actually when I bought some vintage suitcases. That's what this was from. But I think we're going to do this. We're just going to play a little bit. I don't want anything plain and boring. Let's see. I should have some scrap paper here. Let's put this here. Let's put some color. I like color. I want color. So I've got some watercolors here. Let me think. It looks like I'm gonna have a lot of red and some green. So I'm gonna go with my Aussie Gold. I'm gonna kind of just lay some of that down. And I am gonna go into the red. So I'm gonna keep my paper, and this is just plain, this is packing paper. Like it's nothing. See, going right through. I don't mind that. I'm gonna soak it just a little bit. We're just gonna kind of get some other colors in there just a little bit with my, there we go, watercolors, just a bit. All right, because we don't want to be boring. We're gonna add a little bit of background. I might have to dry this a smidge. I don't know, I hate to turn the dryer on, you guys. I'm gonna dry it just a smidge. And remember, if you don't have these nice stamp pads, just use a makeup sponge. Works fine. Works wonderful, actually. This is going to give me a little bit of a gray tone. I'm not super concerned about things being perfect, right? Why not? Because, well, it's vintage. It's messy. It is what it is. Do I kind of want my other stencils. Where are they? I know. Okay. Well, I'm not going to hold you up. I don't know where my little bag is. There's something. Let's see, I have all the empties. Maybe it's small. These are all the big ones. Oh, here we go. No. My small pouch. It's somewhere. Oh, I know where it is. I had brought it somewhere. So I'm gonna just put a few little stars on here. I don't want anything big. I'm just gonna kind of stick with the small. Half of this, remember, we've talked a lot about layering and how important it is to not get stuck, to not become attached to that first layer. Okay? Layering is what makes your page really come alive. So don't fall in love with that first layer. Promise me that you're working on breaking up with the first layer. All right, now what do I want? Now what do I want? I know what I want. I don't know where they are. Let's bring back some sprays. Now I have to be careful with these because this is just packing paper, but I do want to add just a bit of something. This color is great. It's called Fossilized Amber. It's a great yellow. I don't think I really have Abandoned Coral. I think is going to be a little more. I don't really have a red. Isn't that weird? It's actually not red. I love the color red. I just never use it. Ever. Let me, there we go. Scrap paper. Just because I don't want to completely, I'm just going to take, and I'm just going to give a little. Could you do this with acrylics? Could you do this with, make sure you screw the top on. I can't tell you how many times I just throw it down, walk away, or go to grab it and spill it all over the place. So screw your top on. That's kind of, you see how much that fades? Love it, love it, love it. Watercolor, any kind of watered down acrylic would probably work, right? We're just building that back layer. I thought this would be really cute, a little stamp. Almost like a calendar, right? Like July. Let's just, it really doesn't matter to me which day which setup I grab. I'm just gonna kind of lay that down, I think I'm gonna go with ink instead of oxide. Let's see what happens. Ooh, that's black. I don't think I want black. I knew I had a darker. There's oxide. Here we go. Ground espresso. Let's do that instead. I want to stick to browns right now. In the back, let's see. Kind of almost too perfect. That's okay. It's going to get kind of covered. Now we're just marking up. There we go. So that's kind of fun. Let's play. See what I mean by things are going to just get covered a little bit. Again, I'm going to just use, let's rewind and just gunk it up a little bit. It's a little weird. Now, if I had my bits box near me and I had a watercolored bit, like a strawberry or a cherry or something, I almost probably would choose that over this. I like to mix my artwork with vintage in these things. But we have time restraints, and I'm just using what I have in front of me. In my bits box, I'm actually working on refilling that up. And so last night I cut. All right, that's good and dirty. Yep. Kind of just come around on some of this. I don't know why I love this photograph. I think it's just the old farmer. She's got her knee like wrapped. I think it just reminds me of my mom's grandmother, so my great-grandmother growing up in Malone, New York, which for anybody that doesn't know, I like that pop of green. if you don't know, that's where Almanzo Wilder kind of grew up. And my mom's farm, grandmother's farm, was like neighbors with Almanzo Wilder. Little House on the Prairie, anyone? That's where he grew up until they moved and obviously met Laura's family. Pretty neat, huh? I think it's neat. All right. So this, like I said, sometimes just using ephemera, and I wanted to kind of come on and show you guys this. This is not my typical using ephemera and things like this, but I do love to junk journal. Typically, my junk journals have, they're kind of done with, again, junky papers. And then I like to add my artwork. So you've got like the old with the new. I think I really enjoy that. All right, I'm going to just add some matte medium. And I'm going to glue this here. And kind of just reinforce the seam that was ripped. But I love it. And then I think I have like this photo here. What if I cut? I don't know. I don't think I can cut the whole thing. But I'm wondering if I cut some fruit. So I'm going to kind of go around it really quick, just so not to bore you. Get an idea if I like it. Maybe I just want that basket from the top. Maybe I want to break it up a little bit. There's a squash back there. It's kind of a fabulous old drawing, honestly. And I'm wondering if how am I doing on time? Got 5 minutes left. 5 minutes using ephemera. Do you guys like to tell me in the comments if you like to use ephemera. If you're not sure what ephemera is, it's pre-done stuff. It's papers, it's stickers, it's even your bits, painted bits, tends to be more fodder, but it's ephemera. It's anything you would add to your papers. That's not necessarily your artwork. It's typically a pre-made sticker, scrapbook, think scrapbook items, that's all ephemera. It's not a bad thing at all to use. And I know some of you love to use it, and others maybe want to try to use it. I know I shared a few links last week to a couple sets that I tend to go back and forth with. I like the papers that they give for some of the old images. There's some great things. I'm sorry. I'm going as fast as I can. I'm not too worried, right? It's just a journal. I'm experimenting. I do like the way that some of those things showed up on my packaging paper. Coffee stain, coffee dye, some papers. Just spend an afternoon. There is a video. I have done one. So if you go to probably files, you will see, I'm going to I gotta get rid of that white. And the best way I know how to do that without worrying about getting an absolute precision cut, because this is just on plain paper, is just coming in with my ink pad. All right, look at that. And still, the colors are still there, things still work. But what if we kind of stick that in there? There we go. I like this old the old tag kind of attached to that, to the old string. So I'm gonna leave that there. I've got my old picture. I can decide to glue it down, or I can just have things layered in here. I could do the same. I can still kind of layer more fruits and vegetables. And I like the black and white against or the sepia really, against the color. I don't want to lose too much of my farmer though. He's kind of my favorite. Right there. That's just a fun little page. It's got a little bit of, you know, some art making and me on there. We've added a little tag. You could certainly glue all these little pieces down. I think the red and white check is very reminiscent. Okay, we've got that old vintage photo in there. Super simple, using ephemera. And I still felt creative. I still quickly got to splatter some paint, some watercolors, some inks, right? We used some ink spray, we used some stencils, we used punchinella, we used Distress Oxide, and then still got in a fun little stack of other things. So I think it's super cute the way it came out. It's quick. It'll be a fun page to kind of open up to in the whole vintage scheme of things, right? All right. So using ephemera is not always a bad thing. It's not always a cheat. And if you use ephemera a lot, that's perfectly wonderful. There is sometimes a stigma in the artist world that we don't use other people's work. Well, I personally adore old photographs, okay? And a photograph is a piece of art. A photographer is an artist. So make sure that your images are not copyrighted if you're going to use them in anything permanent. Sometimes using these little ephemera stickers just lets you get creative with the other side of your brain. Now, if you're always using ephemera, if you're always using stickers, if you're always using things like that, I want you to go the other way and kind of watch some of my videos that teach you to paint your own. Go paint your own strawberries for the farmer's market, or paint some vegetables. We've colored. I actually considered coloring. I have more. I just Googled 1960 farmers markets, right? And I got some cool images. Mostly I wanted to do when we were in Haleiwa, on Oahu, pictures from that farmer's market because it's still with me. Loved it. But I couldn't find those. Who knows where they are, like the actual photo. They're probably in the attic. They're definitely not on this. It's been a while since we worked out there. But I did find some other photos. And what would be really cool too is painting or coloring in the fruit, vegetables, and flowers. So like this one, you could just color in and kind of start your page from that. But my point being, it's good to bounce back and forth because you're using both sides of your creative brain and you're getting everything flowing. So it's okay to use some ephemera. It came out pretty cute. I am going to stick my photo, mostly so I'm just gonna put one little strip of glue there so I can hold it up for you guys. With all the other little things in there. But see, just a simple little page can go a long way. It can go a long way. There's creativity in there. I love a vintage farmer's market. So what this page makes me feel when I open this vintage journal, which is going to get a lot done on the outside and the inside. There's a lot there. There's a story there. It's okay if it's not your artwork all the time. Like I said, if you are a person that's always using ephemera, you got to switch. You got to do some of your own artwork. You got to paint your own things. You got to play and have fun and experiment, and don't be afraid of your own hand, okay? Create with your own hands, because it's your God-given gift, I promise. It's not a bad thing. All right, everybody, thanks for joining me on Art Snacks today. I will see you next week, same time, same place. Bye.